and I always will.
He does so good, man. And that's, but think about like the pressure of that. Like, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Twiztid Whiskey Reactions, doing music video reactions for you, just for you. And today is one of my subscriber base fan favorites. It's Dan, man. We're back to Dan Vasc. That's right. Today we are checking out not only Dan Vasc, but Dan Vasc doing one of my favorite artists, Elvis Presley. Named my kid after him. It's just, he's one of my favorites. I'm not like a Elvis nut. Nah, I don't dress up like him. I don't do, that kind of stuff. But I do love his music. He is awesome. And I can't wait to see what Dan does with this one. I think we covered one before that he did for his dad. So check that out. His playlist will be popping up. It might have already somewhere up in here. So check that out with me. Well, not with me. I already did it. So I'm past it. But you can check it out still and see if you like it. But today, that's right, we are doing some Love Me Tender, Dan Vasc. I'm excited to get to it. I know you're excited to get to it. So let's just get to it. Let's mount up and roll. All right, here we go.
I woke up the other day and I decided to check my Facebook inbox messages. I never do that. I receive lots of messages and there's no time. But for some reason, I decided to do it that day. And there was a message from a lady called Annie that said, quote, "Hi Dan, I realize you're likely very busy, but my husband is 78 and just loves your YouTube channel. He's terminally ill, and last night, as he listened to you, he noticed you did an American trilogy, Elvis cover.
Yeah, that's the one I checked
He
out.
cried his heart out for you on the loss of your father. He wanted me to ask you for your permission for your video to be played at his service when he passes."
Wow.
End of quote. Talking to Annie, I discovered that her husband, Robert, is a big Elvis fan. So this one goes to Robert and Annie.
Oh, that's cool as hell. Man, Dan's just such a good dude. Oh man, like an old timer, man. God bless him.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
He does so good, man. And that's, but think about like the pressure of that. Like someone like wants your video to play at their service. And I mean, you can get past like all the social media stuff and, even if you were just, just creating music and, I know a lot of music is played at funerals and services and remembrances and whatever you call them nowadays. But to have someone write to you that hasn't passed at that moment and ask you like, hey man, I like you so much, I want to play your music at my funeral. And not only does that artist see that, but then he puts together something from one of your favorite artists, and the the pressure of that on Dan to do that has to be crazy, right? Like I don't even know what I would do, and I'm not comparing myself to Dan. I don't want to make it seem like that. But no one was ever, if someone were to come to me and be like, look, dude, I want you to do a reaction video to my service video. Like, I don't know, man. That seems like a lot to put. And credit to Dan, that's a lot for someone to absorb and comprehend what is actually being asked of you and what that means to that person. And I don't even know how you put that together in your head and process that. So, and he's just so good. Like this is such a, and I'm not trying to get away from this song, but just that message and that like what that must mean to Dan to have somebody ask that and come to you and just that's so cool. And I love that Dan appreciates that kind of thing, because not all, like especially the bigger artists, they get flooded. I'm not saying they don't care, but it's even Dan, like that's awesome that he takes those things and reads them and does that stuff. So shout out to Dan for that. That's super cool to do.
Love me tender, love me long, take me to your heart. For it's there that I belong, and will never part. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me dear, tell me you are mine. I'll be yours through all the years, till the end of time. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill.
He's like, I've always said this about Dan, and if you're new to the channel, and Dan for that matter, like I love the majority, all of what he does. Like he has this way of keeping it true to the original, and even when he's doing almost a cover for like Dead On, where he doesn't rock it out or change it up too much, and even in those he stays like you hear that underlying like original kind of tone to it. And this is such a good song because to me, like it's not flashy, it's not Dan screaming and doing hair flips, but it puts his voice out there like almost in the spotlight where there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, you have the orchestra music going, but it really puts his voice out there, and he's almost got an Elvis kind of tone. It doesn't sound like he's trying to sound like Elvis, but that deep kind of country-ish accent, like his accent comes through that way a little bit. So to me, it's just, he's just doing such a good job of paying respect to that, to Robert and to Elvis as well. So he just does so good.
For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
So good, man. Oh, yeah. The other one, American Trilogy, that he did for his dad. That one was really, if not my video, check out his video of it if you haven't. It was such a good tribute video to his dad and to Elvis. So just amazing. And this song too. What a a story coming into the song, and then him just the the tempo was great. Like his voice is just really put out there with that song, and like I said, it's not something that you get these crazy fluctuations. It just puts your voice out there, and it's a awesome song to sing and hear when it's done right and done well, which Dan obviously does. So kudos to Dan, and again, can't say enough about him as a person doing that in honor of Robert and his wife. I think it was Annie. Just and for her to write Dan and put that out there, that's tough too. To and she's processing things and dealing with things. So as well as Robert, I mean, he had to come to terms with what's going on, and one of the things he wanted to do is reach out to one of his favorite artists and tell him how much he enjoyed his music and ask for permission, which is like, that's like I asked Dan for permission in a sense when I do these videos to be able to use his videos in my reaction videos. So Dan's always been one of the great ones about I can't speak for all reaction YouTube creators, but I've never had a problem with copyrights, Dan blocking me or saying I can't even you use this video to make me a little bit of money. Like he's such a good guy that way, and it's awesome that he does that and appreciates that. And speaking of appreciation, I appreciate you guys. If you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed, I hope you enjoyed the reaction. And if you did, please consider joining up or subscribing to, or you can say joining up with the Stampede. That's what we call ourselves, my group of subscribers that we roll together. We do live videos. We do all kinds of stuff. I try to release 2 videos every week. If you've been following me, I know I didn't release one Thursday. I've been ducking and dodging the sickness all year. I was getting close. I was getting nicked, but finally got me. He snuck me with a little jab. I was down for a little bit, but now I'm back. So should be business as usual. And I appreciate you guys being patient with that. So if you do all that, click that bell. It'll let you know when I drop a video. And Stampede, as you guys know, man, I really do appreciate each and every one of you. You have made my journey in this just amazing. And I appreciate the continued support and everything. So thank you guys. And until next time, you know the deal, man. Do no harm, but take no bull. Stay good. Let's roll.